This year, North Korea is expected to intensify its weapons development efforts as 2025 marks the final year of its five-year plan to modernize its military arsenal, including nuclear submarines, spy satellites and solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missiles. Additionally, Pyongyang is likely planning to increase the supply of troops and weapons to Russia.
North Korea has provided some 11,000 troops, missiles, 200 pieces of long-range artillery, and a substantial amount of ammunition. And there is the possibility of the North additionally supplying troops, weapons, and ammunition going forward. From a statement by Ministry of National Defense, Republic of Korea, reports Yonhap News Agency.
According to Andriy Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation, over 50% and sometimes more than 70% of the artillery shells and mines used by the Russian army are produced in North Korea. These figures indicate Russia's growing dependence on North Korean ammunition supplies.
The most valuable asset North Korea provides to Russia is ammunition. Soviet-era ammunition, whether for firearms or artillery, is largely standardized, making North Korean supplies a crucial lifeline for Russia's occupation forces.
In exchange, Russia supplies North Korea with food, energy resources and, most importantly, military technology. Moscow is reportedly paying Pyongyang with drones and missile technology.
Russia has agreed to assist North Korea in developing and mass-producing various types of drones in exchange for North Korean forces supporting Russia's war effort against Ukraine, from a report by the U.S. Institute for the Study of War. Kim Jong-un is interested in acquiring any modern technology, whether Russian or Iranian. His primary goal is to obtain a foundation of advanced systems that North Korean engineers can then copy and improve.
Russia and North Korea strengthened their ties after signing a strategic partnership agreement, effectively forming a military alliance. Putin and Kim Jong-un signed the agreement in June 2024, with Pyongyang ratifying it first, followed by Moscow later that year. However, according to the chair of NATO's military committee, ramping up deterrence measures against North Korea could reduce the scale of cooperation between these two pariah states.
NATO has called on Russia and North Korea to cease these actions immediately. Stopping North Korea's involvement requires tightening sanctions, increasing diplomatic pressure on China, and intercepting arms shipments through intelligence and naval cooperation. Giuseppe Cavo-Dragone, chair of the NATO Military Committee, in the interview with Army Inform.
If NATO fails to put pressure on the growing Moscow-Pyongyang alliance, Russia's military could receive even more personnel from North Korea. Ernst Kivisel, head of the Estonian Defense Forces Intelligence Center, has stated that there are indications North Korea may send additional troops to assist Russia by early summer 2025. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Valeria Nekapelova, UATV News.
Thousands of North Korean troops have resumed active combat operations in Russia's Kursk region after a short pause, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. South Korean sources report that Russia temporarily withdrew North Korean forces from the battlefield in mid-January 2025, possibly for rest or reassessment of their deployment. However, Ukrainian armed forces have already repelled a joint assault by Russian occupiers and North Korean soldiers in Kursk region.
The attacks were carried out by large infantry groups advancing in multiple directions, moving across fields and open areas. Enemy assault troops were transported on buggies and deployed in narrow forest belts, where they tried to take cover under the trees. Bradley IFVs and artillery, using cluster munitions under reconnaissance guidance, delivered a powerful blow to the enemy. Russian losses in this assault amounted to at least a company of personnel. The 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Magura, on Telegram.
At the end of January, the New York Times reported that North Korean soldiers had not been spotted in the Kursk region for nearly 2 weeks. Later, South Korean intelligence confirmed their withdrawal. However, Kirilo Budanov, chief of the Main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine, stated that North Korean troops were still engaged in frontline battles, though their activity had decreased due to significant casualties.
Russia is once again using North Korean forces as stormtroopers, effectively as expendable personnel. there is documented evidence that North Korean servicemen are being deployed in penal battalion-style units. That is a World War II tactic.
Cooperation between the Kremlin and Pyongyang continues under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty. Despite heavy losses among North Korean troops in Kursk, Kim Jong-un has reaffirmed his support for Vladimir Putin's dictatorial regime. According to Reuters, the North Korean leader has also threatened to expand his country's nuclear arsenal to counter U.S. military cooperation with South Korea and Japan. In return for military aid, Russia may be providing North Korea with drone and missile technology.
NHK has learned that North Korea is expected to start producing drones this year that will be co-developed with Russia. Multiple sources familiar with Russia-North Korea relations told NHK that the two countries reached an agreement under which the North receives technical help from Russia to develop multiple types of drones to be mass manufactured. From a message on the website of the Japanese public broadcaster, NHK World Japan.
Beyond sending troops, North Korea is also supplying workers to Russia. According to South Korean intelligence, last year North Korea has sent thousands of its citizens to construction projects across Russia to compensate for a labor shortage caused by mass migration outflows following Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine. This, however, violates UN Security Council resolutions, which ban North Korea from sending its workers abroad in response to its weapons testing program, reported by Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky posted a video on social media of an interrogation of a captured North Korean soldier. The serviceman claims that he did not know he would be fighting against Ukraine, and even his mother is unaware of his whereabouts. According to him, they were transferred from North Korea to Russia by ferry and then by train, and while being kept in complete informational isolation.
Over 100 of us were transported on a ship. It was a Russian ferry cargo. There were only people on it, no equipment. The people I was with on the ferry were also the same ones on the train. The train had 6 tables and beds, with around 100 people in total.
During the interrogation, the North Korea soldier explained that he served in the reconnaissance battalion. He joined the military at 17, as is customary in North Korea.
Usually after finishing school, all men go into the military. And I also joined the army after finishing school into the reconnaissance division, where I served my entire term.
On January 11th, Ukrainian Defense Forces captured 2 North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region. The Security Service of Ukraine obtained irrefutable evidence of North Korean involvement in Russia's war against Ukraine. Up to 12,000 North Korean troops have been deployed to the Russian Federation. According to Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky, they are well motivated and trained, but not distinguished by skill on the front lines. Instead, they rely on sheer numbers and use Soviet-style tactics, fighting in squads and platoons.
In today's conditions, with drones dominating the battlefield, battles are fought by small combat groups, assault or defense units, and when platoons attack from multiple directions, sometimes with up to 100 or more soldiers, it becomes a problem because they are quite bold. Alexander Syrsky, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, on the Ukrainian National Telethon.
Half of the North Korean contingent had already been wounded or killed, noted Syrsky. Russian commanders, he said, are not used to considering losses and make no exceptions for North Korean troops.
They are treated like goods. When we buy something, we care about it until it spoils. When it's ruined, we throw it away and buy something else. This is exactly how the North Korean and Russian leadership treat these people. There is no difference.
By April 2025, the entire North Korean military presence in Russia's Kursk region could be wiped out, according to analysts from the Institute for the Study of War. They estimate that North Korean troops have been suffering critically high losses, around 92 soldiers per day since they started participating in combat. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.